Are you sick of hearing me complain about all these random things? Well, so am I. But what the heck is up with this thing? Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about the Hellbabe Behringer wah pedal. Optical wah pedal, for it to be specific. So, you probably are wondering what the hell that frickin' intro's all about. And that's because I've had this pedal for about a year now. And it's been eluding me, it's been confusing me, it's been pissing me off, quite frankly. Because this pedal has so many great features, yet there's the one thing that brings it down. At least there's two things that brought it down for me. So we're gonna get those things out of the way right away because there's no avoiding them. First thing, when I first ordered this pedal, I thought it was called the Hellblade, and I was like, oh, that's metal as frick, dude. And no, it turns out it's called the Hellbabe. So that was a little bit of a disappointment to me. And then the next one is its fatal issue. So, as you can see on my other camera here, I have two expression-like pedals here. Two sweepable pedals, whatever you want to call them. I don't know what the proper term is. Foot pedals. But one of them is the Sonic Cake Vol Wah, which is a volume and wah pedal combination. It switches between it when you turn it on and off. So if you turn off the wah, it's now a volume pedal, then you click it and you get your wah pedal. So yeah, that's cool. So this thing is going to be here for comparison because I've been using that thing for a year or two now and I really like it. I think it's been about 2 years, or 2 or 3 honestly now actually. And I love it. I bought it specifically to learn one song and I never actually learned it, which was Sinner by Drowning Pool. Believe it or not, they have better songs than Bodies. So we have this other wah pedal as a comparison. This is the only other wah pedal I've ever owned. So some of my complaints that are with the Behringer might not be exactly all the Behringer's fault, because maybe the Crybabies do have some of these faults as well. I don't personally know. Anyway, let's get right into the problem here. We're going to be playing with a Stratocaster Squire. This is an older one, so it's nicer. It feels nicer, at least. It's heavier. We're going to be playing through the Boss Katana, and we have two tones. We have a clean tone and a hard metal tone. And I turned off my reverb for now on the clean. So here's the clean. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, you get the idea. It's kind of crunchy a little bit, maybe because of the volume. I don't know. It's 100 watts, so I don't know. Here is the Vol Wah to have a comparison to. So there's the Vol Wah. So here's the issue with this pedal. The sweep on the pedal, the actual function, is horrible. And it's not for the lack of the sweep being there mechanically. For some reason, internally, it just doesn't seem to work. Most of it is just the activation, and then the actual sweeping motion of the circuit is very late in your actual foot sweep. Let me see if I can try and demonstrate it. See that? See how long it took for me to get out of that low rumble state into the wah. So it's stuck in the W, the wah. Meanwhile, if I do this one, it sweeps through constantly. So that is my main issue on why I just hate this pedal, and I can't figure it out. Now, there are many controls on this, which is one of the cool things and why I thought it would be an awesome buy. But none of the controls seem to change this. I can't figure out how to get it to work better. So you can do kind of your waka waka thing. But that's about it. You can't get the fine sweep in. At least if you do get the fine thing, it has to be real fine movement on your ankle. Quite frankly, it's just an immaculate disappointment to me. I just can't, it's unusable as a wah pedal because it just doesn't do the wah thing. It makes the sounds, but it doesn't have the sweep in it. Let's try and move past that. Alright, it's gonna be hard because it's always there, but let's try and move past that. Some of the features that are on this pedal. I have to put my guitar down because it's gonna be impossible to try and have the guitar on here without me breaking it and trying to adjust the pedal. That's another kind of issue I have, but it's understandable. I hate trying to adjust the controls from the playing position, because if you're sitting like me, you're up higher, and then you gotta really, like, you gotta be a little bit flexible at least to get down there, and then if you're standing, you gotta, like, crouch down or something, you gotta squat. I explained this poorly. What I explained was kind of an issue that happens all the time with all types of pedals. This one is kind of more of an issue because you have to try and control the controls from the side of the pedal, but like I said, there's not a whole lot that you can do to change that. It's just really frustrating, but there's also no real other alternative, so it's understandable. It's better than having trimmer potentiometers inside that you have to adjust with a screwdriver. But, with that said, there are other features on here. One of them being the boost. There's a little switch on the back here. You probably can't see it through my other camera, but there is a little switch here, and there's little LEDs at the bottom, which is very unfortunate that you can't see those. I'm sorry, I'll try and get some B-roll of it when I'm editing. So when the switch is turned on, it'll be indented a little bit, it'll be pushed in a little bit, and there will be a yellow LED at the bottom of your wah. And then when your wah is activated, there'll be a red LED next to your yellow LED. And the boost doesn't turn off until you hit the side switch again, which you can easily do with your foot. At least, typically, you'd easily be able to do, especially if you practiced at it, but, oh, it's actually not that hard, but they also have a lot going on that side, kinda, because of the power cable and the in jack. So it could be a little bit difficult, but, you know, it works. There's also a small potentiometer on the other side of the pedal, adjusting how much boost there is. Let me see here. So right now, the boost is, if you're looking at it from the side, it's turned all the way left, or all the way forward if you're looking at it from the player position. So logically that would tell me that it's all the way up. I'm not actually for sure, but I think it's all the way up. Let's see. I'm going to turn the boost off. Let's get a cleanser. So here's the boost on. It does boost. It almost seems kind of necessary to have the boost on to me, at least with the clean tone. Maybe with the, let's try the crunch tone, or the distortion tone, with the wah, in the boost. So this is our distortion tone. Here's the wah. Honestly, it's not even like, it's a little unperceptible with the distortion, which is quite strange. And I think this is possibly due to the ranges that it puts, which later we'll talk about this, but it does have multiple ranges, but I think this is as high as the range goes. So the vol wah actually goes to a much higher and lower, I think, you know, it goes to much higher and lower positions as is, the way it is already, with no controls whatsoever except for that foot switch to change between volume and wah. So let's turn on the boost. I'm a little scared, and let's see how it functions. I was trying to get more sweep in there and it just doesn't work. The boost definitely works. It makes it more perceptible in the distortion and in the clean as well. So it almost seems like you should have it on at all times, but that's not how this other guy had it. See, here's the thing. I'm sorry, this is just a really hard review because I don't know if I have a lemon or not. I think I might have slightly defective unit because this just doesn't seem right, especially when I've seen other people use it on their videos, because I've been trying to figure this out. It's driving me crazy, guys. Yeah, I can't tell if I have a defective unit because it seems like some people don't have that issue with the sweep. It seems like there's it sounds a little better, maybe it's because of just the way that they're using it, or their EQs on their amps and then other equipment. I don't know. I just don't understand this pedal. But my Vol-Wah, I love this thing. It sounds like a wah pedal, and it does the wah thing. But this one does, but the Behringer doesn't. Composure regained. Yeah, you see that we have that, and that was the boost turned all the way up. We've technically gone through one of the 3 controls on the side. There are 2 more controls on the side. I need to remind myself what they are. The middle control is called Q. If you don't know how a wah pedal works, basically you need to look at a EQ graph. And what a wah pedal does is it takes what's called the Q, which is the peak of one band on your EQ, and it makes a mountain, at least a hill, kinda. Hill or spike, depends on how wide it is. This Q, I'm pretty sure, will adjust how wide your hill is, how rounded it is. Cause typically, when you do a general boost, you have a wide hill. It's very rounded, like a typical mountain. But you can have like stalactites or icicle picks, where you have it very spiked, and you have a very fine selection of what frequencies are coming through. And that's what it's doing, is it's letting those frequencies come through, is on that spike. So typically, to get that wah-wah tone, you need a very spiked Q. But this one allows you to mellow that out, and personally I don't like it. I have the Q maxed out so that I'm pretty sure it's at its spikiest, because that's how you get the real wah tone. But let's try, because what you've been hearing is fully... Oh, really? Okay, so I think right now the potentiometer, looking at it from the side, is all the way right. Shit, this is backwards. Anyway, it's all the way to the right. So looking at it from the player position, it's all the way back, which means that I think when you go forward, it's widening it out, which kind of makes sense, because usually when you go forward, it means more, but in this case, it's kind of backwards when it comes to the wah effect, at least in my opinion. So personally, I would have probably switched that around, but anyway, right now it's turned all the way back. So we're gonna put it to the middle, and we're gonna see how it sounds. When I was experimenting with this just a minute ago, it made it significantly worse and kind of made it lose the whole wah tone. So the Q is now in the middle position. So it's straight up at noon. Okay, I've gotten a little more sweet, maybe? No, I just found the sweet spot. I just found the sweet spot that one time. Alright. So it doesn't sound completely bad. Let's turn the boost on. Had some trouble there. Let's turn it all the way forward, or all the way to the left. From what I can, hang on, actually, I think it says on the bottom of the pedal. Yeah, okay. Well, that doesn't really help. Hard to tell. Damn it. I don't know. So it does say what it shows a little diagram on the back, a little picture, but it doesn't really help because it's not the same orientation, so I can't quite tell what way is actually meant to do what. I hope you remember what I said before about what position we were supposed to be in, because that's what we're in, and I don't remember. So this is with the boost on, and as you can tell, the wah effect has become very subtle, and I think that's because the Q is so wide. If you like a more subtle wah effect, then this could be a pedal for you, but I hope you don't expect to be able to sweep through that subtle effect. But yeah, you can do the fine adjustment, which is actually brings us to our next knob as well. I'm gonna turn this Q all the way back to, hang on. Alright, I've turned the Q all the way back towards us, or all the way to the right if you're looking at it from the side. And the last control is called a fine control. I'm not quite sure what this thing does. Hang on. It seems like it's a fine tuner that tries to like push the sweep into a certain direction, either the low end of your frequency spectrum or the high end. Let's just do the drastic settings. Let's turn it all the way forward or to the left if you're looking at it from the side. And the boost is still on, and remember the Q has been pulled back so that the Q is very sharp. So personally, I kind of like those settings if I could use it, because I do like higher end stuff, like higher end tone, I mean. So that's the cool thing, is that this can be used as a bass wah pedal as well, because there's such a frequency spectrum that can be selected and shifted in this pedal. So let's turn it all the way back towards us, or all the way to the right if you're looking at it from the side, and let's see how this sounds. So yeah, it made it darker, but you know, it's not meant to be an overall tone changer. It's meant to be a fine adjustment of where your Q is going to end up. And that's why I leave it in the middle. And that brings us to our final control, which is actually, well, actually there's two controls, but one of them I don't adjust. The one I don't adjust is on the very bottom, and I think you have to do it with an Allen key or a screwdriver, I don't remember. But it's to simply adjust the time that it takes for the pedal to turn off after the pedal returns to its automatic off position. Because I forgot to mention it, but most wah pedals have to be turned on with a foot switch, either underneath the top of the pedal, like the vol wah here, or on the sides. But which Morley pedals, I think, do that, and I don't think anyone else really does, except for maybe like the Digitech Whammy, but that's not a wah pedal. So this one automatically turns on and off. When you start moving the pedal, it turns on. So it has a timer on when it turns off again. So I think right now it's on one like almost minimum. I don't know, but it's not a very long delay from when it turns off. And personally, I like it that way. I like the preset that it came with. At least mine did. But you could up that a bit if you wanted to. That's the second last control. Our final control is this big silver knob on the other side of the pedal. So yeah, there's this big silver knob on the side. This is really cool because this is where you get your overall tone adjustment for pretty much to make it more guitar friendly or more bass friendly or just more of your tone friendly. And that's one of the reasons why I thought this would be so cool, and it would be so cool if it would just work as a pedal, as a wah pedal. The way I have it now is I have it on the maximum high setting, which is all the way turned towards us. Yes. So turned all the way back, and if you're looking at it from the opposite side, that's turned to the left. If you're turning it to the left on this side of the pedal, it's gonna be higher pitched. This is gonna be really hard. I'm gonna try and change it while I'm playing. Let me get the strap on for this, because this could get dicey. Some real bad stuff happen here. Alright, well, I think you get the idea now, because now we're on the highest, we're on the highest of the low settings is what I'm trying to say. So we're on the lowest end of what the spectrum can be. Which it has its own cool sound on the regular guitar, but on the bass guitar this would logically be more bass friendly. So that's really cool. You could use it as a bass wah pedal and a guitar wah pedal, depending on if you're multi whatever, you know. It's cool. Unfortunately, it's just not a great wah pedal. And there's settings in between, and there's only 5 total settings, but that's okay, because when you're turning it, it's not a free turning knob like most potentiometers are. This one is a selector knob. So if you ever used a JHS pedal, one of their bonsais, or their pack rat pedals, they have the selector knob on which type of of the rat or the tube screamer you're going to be using. That's the kind of order on what this is it's just switching between different modified versions of the Crybaby, I assume. Maybe Vox ones as well, because Vox ones also, there's also the Vox and Crybaby are the main ones. Yeah. All right. I don't think we really need to go through all of the other ones because there's so much fine-tuning you could do. But like I said, personally, I probably won't even be able to hear it because I like the fine in-between settings of the wah. That's the coolest part for me, is doing some fine sweepings and then mid-push, not mid-pushes as in like the frequency mid-push, but like not pushing the pedal all the way, and then you're using it as a second instrument basically, but you can't do that. You have high wah, low wah, and off. In the Sonic Cake Vol wah, you have all the things in between. It's like if you were to play guitar and you have open, 1, and then 12. That's the equivalent of what this pedal is. With the Vol wah, you get all of that. If that's a good enough example for you, I hope so. Because I think I'm just about done here. Because there's only so much more I can say about it, because I've expressed this so many times. I'm sure you're sick of hearing it. But it's an honest problem. At the end of my videos, I like to say whether or not I can recommend the pedal, and I think every pedal I have ever reviewed, I have recommended, except for one, and that was because it was a vintage one. It was a first act pedal, and the connections were messed up, and that was the only reason why I was saying that you shouldn't buy it, is because, first of all, it's a first act plastic pedal, and it's not really a serious gigging thing. But I still recommended it because it sounded good. It sounds good, but the function is absolutely atrocious. And like I said, I don't know if this is just my unit or if this is all units. I've only gotten to try this one, and I came this close to returning it to Sweetwater when I bought this on sale with some other Behringer pedals. So look forward to having those, and subscribe if you want to see some of the more normal Behringer pedals. However, I do think I have another lemon Behringer pedal, which is very interesting. But I want to try and lay off the videos of me banging on stuff because I'm quite honestly sick of it. I'm going insane here, and I want to review some good pedals and some good equipment. So, this is gonna... Should you buy this pedal? It's honestly gonna have to be up to you. It depends on how you want to use the pedal. I think this thing is actually not even that affordable. I think it's like 80 bucks. I'll fact check that in editing, but yeah, I don't think it's even that affordable. When you can get a Volwa or something like that from different places. Sometimes you can get it for 60. I think when I first was looking at these at the Volwas and stuff, they were like 80 bucks, but you can get them much cheaper other places, especially if you get them used or something. You can even get a normal Crybaby used for like 60 bucks if you're lucky. I just don't think that, especially for a first wah pedal, the Behringer is not it. I think the only time that this is good is if you want to get that kind of sound. Other than that, you can't get the wow wow wow, you know? You can't get the real wacky sounds. So, yeah, I honestly can't recommend this pedal, and it pisses me off greatly. However, tell me if you have had better experiences with your with your Behringer Hellbabe pedal, because I would love to know. This thing has been pissing me off and eluding me, and because it's driving me crazy to know if mine's just stupid or not. I think I've said all I can say, so I'm gonna say bye-bye.